My that boy.
Right here.
Oh.
Look, lady. Look, there it is. Look. Today is gonna look a little bit different. We have some outside chores that we need to do, some moving around of animals, some garden work, and we're gonna bring y'all along with us. Most of the time the kids don't know where their shoes are. We're getting shoes on, roll up our sleeves, and we've got to get to work. All right, let's get your shoes on. So you can see we deep bed these stalls. Now she's been on this side, which is where she's given birth for several weeks. So there's a fresh side right to the side of it. So we're gonna send her in a new side. Now we don't like to keep animals in barns and stuff like this, but her babies are still so little. We just can't take them and put them in the netting across over in the forest because her babies are just too little, and they can get actually in and out of the nettings without ever even touching the nettings because the American guinea hogs are just so small. So we're gonna keep her in here until they get a little bit bigger. They're so fragile, and they're not like our commercial breed. They're just so fragile. So for them, we are gonna keep them in the barn until they get a little bit bigger, and then they'll move to pasture. Is that all 5 of them? Okay, they are moved in the new barn. We've got her water moved over and that's filling up. Now we have our sheep. Some of the lambs should have been weaned a little while ago, which is not going to be a real easy process with them. So what we're going to do is we're going to move all the sheep down to our big barn. We'll leave the lambs and the wether down there, bring Trump and the 2 ewes back up here to the field. It's gonna be real fun trying to separate them out. All right, so I'm hoping that the move here is gonna be pretty easy. We have, is Daisy usually the one that leads?
Yeah.
She is usually the one that leads, so if she'll come on, they'll all follow her all the way down. That's gonna be the easy part, separating them out. That's gonna be the fun part. Baby, get on the truck with Harley. Now here's gonna be the funnest part, is separating the ones out that we need out and leaving the ones in. Without their mamas, they're gonna see their mamas going. So here we go. This is another one of those days on the farms where it can get real frustrating real easy because they're animals and they just don't understand. But we're gonna do the best we can to sort them through and move the mamas back so that we can get the mamas weaned from the babies. Jennings, you get back there with Harley. Y'all back up, okay? Okay, sheep are over that way. They're yelling for their babies, but we got our 2 ewes and ram back in the field. That's where they need to go. Now we just got to be like, ewes, please don't get out and try to get back to your babies. I'm hoping that they've had enough of their babies nursing off of them, that they'll stay put. I know that the babies can't get out. The lambs shouldn't be able to get out. We say that. We moved the piglets over here, and they either snuck through this section right here of the gate or over there. that section right there. When we were coming back through with the lambs, we saw all of them were out here running around right here on the ground where Colby's standing. So we had to get them put back, and we just used some sticks that were literally the width of the holes and just jammed those into the ground and got them real sturdy, propped up against the post beside them. So hopefully the American guinea hog piglets won't get out again. There's a little section right under the fence that has a little bit of a gap under it, but I'm hoping, I think they're a little bit too fat to squeeze underneath that, like too tall, but they were skinny enough to get by the pole, so who knows, we'll see. Right now we have the pigs moved and the sheep moved, so we have a couple of other things to do. Those were our major things that we needed to get done. Your hair is wet, girl. You been in the pool?
Pool.
You hadn't been in the pool. You been hot? You been sweating?
I did.
She hasn't been in the pool. We have just been sweating. So her little hair, her little ringlets back there in the back are just soaking wet. Walking outside is honestly like walking into a hot shower when you talk about South Mississippi. And you're doing physical labor while you're in the hot shower. So for all of you northern people, I know we have some viewers from Canada and Australia and other places. In South Mississippi, it feels like you're doing physical labor outside while you're in the hot shower. It is just, it's hot and it's really, really humid. So like you're wet, everything's wet on you. We got the two main jobs done. Colby's gonna do some work in the garden, and I'm gonna do some watering down in the greenhouse. I also have a couple of things I need to up pot. So I'm gonna work on those things this afternoon. We're gonna hopefully spend this afternoon swimming together as a family and just kind of spending some downtime, because sometimes as hard as we have to work, we have to equally make sure that we're spending time with our family inside, because it is easy sometimes to get tangled up and doing so many tasks and so many chores and neglecting your family time. But we don't want to do that, so we're going to finish up things that we know have to be done, and I'm hoping that this afternoon we can get the things that have to be done in enough time so that we can get in the pool. I did enough lunch for us to have supper tonight, so I won't have to be cooking tonight either, but we may have a movie night after we swim and do some popcorn, because tomorrow and Tuesday is cleaning day. Wednesday is cleaning outside day because we are having company. Our youth and a couple of couples from the church are going to be coming over. We're going to be utilizing the things that God gave us to bless other people, so we're going to have those over to swim, which means Mama has to get cleaned up. So I'm going to be doing those things this coming week. So I really have to knock out the things outside that have to be done today so I can get those done this week before we have the youth and company over. Okay, I'm literally dripping in sweat. I want to give y'all an update of what we've done. So all of these buckets that you see here that are on the ground, those are the ones that I had. Well, I have some already over there in my dirt pile. I just emptied all that dirt out and kind of broke it up. I'm now refilling these buckets. Y'all have seen on previous videos where I literally took a tomato that one of the kids had busted, got all the seeds out, cleaned those up. If you haven't seen that or you don't know how to keep tomato seeds, y'all be sure to go back and check that out. It's really, really easy to do. And because I did that, I have now all of these tomatoes here that I need to replant. And these are heirloom Cherokee tomatoes. These are Colby's favorite. So we try to have an abundant supply of those always. Yes, it is a little late in the season to be starting tomato plants, but you should feel how hot it is in there. And in South Mississippi, it stays really, really hot pretty much almost until November. We still have November and December days where it gets well into the 60s and 70s during the day. So that is what I've been doing. I've been cleaning those buckets out. I'm about to refill those with dirt, put some good compost fertilizer in there, stick my tomato plants that I have down under my table. The biggest ones that are in there will go into the pots. Now I want to show y'all something that I've been wanting to do, but I just haven't had a chance to get around to it. So y'all seen my raspberry plants right here. I needed them to, they were over in the sun. They cannot take Mississippi direct sun. So I slid them over under my plum tree. You see that the water hose is catching these limbs as I walk by and causing some damage. So I began pondering what I could do to, oh, that wind feels really nice, to keep my plants kind of out of the traffic zone, but in pretty much shade all day. And I found the perfect spot. This right here, in between the strawberry patch that I split, this stays really, really shady right here. So I just built this little arbor, basically using 2 T-posts. I'm gonna put my pots. I really wanted to put my pots out here and plant underneath here. Here is some peanut plants that I just popped in the ground that I picked up from a local group that was doing a fundraiser. But I really wanted my pots to go on the outsides and grow up, but because I already have something planted here, and this really has to be, whatever I plant here pretty much have to be full shade. So I think what I'm going to do, instead of having to take my T-post up and move them over, is just put my pots on the insides of my little arbor and let them run up on the inside. The vining will be the same. I have a couple of strawberries over there that need to be picked, but that's gonna have to be another chore for another day. Colby is finishing up in the bees. I'm hoping that we're gonna get some honey off of the bees. He also picked while he was in the garden, so somewhere in between now and this weekend, I will have to shell peas and get those put up as well. And as you can see, the chore list really could just go on and on and on a full working farm where we grow so much, we have so many animals to tend to. It really is a 24-hour job, and sometimes we just have to say, we're stopping here. So as soon as Colby gets done in the bees, I am covered in sweat. So when I finish moving my raspberries and get these tomatoes planted, I'm gonna be jumping in the pool with the kids. Colby's gonna join us after. We're gonna have leftover spaghetti for supper, and then we're gonna pop on a movie, have a relaxing movie night with some popcorn on the couch. We hope that you guys have a safe week with all the storms rolling in, a very blessed week. Happy homesteading, y'all.